first of all, I'm going to cut up my onions and my garlic. Then I'm going to soften them up in the frying pan. Christ, get your words out. It's okay, I just don't want you to hurt yourself. Right. Right now we're browning the mince, yeah? So, we need to wait, oh careful, it's hot. We need all the meat to go brown, which it nearly has. And then we can add some things in. Do you want to add some things in for me?
Yeah.
Yeah! These leaves in there?
Yeah.
Beautiful! These ones in there. You can put more in. Go on. Beautiful. Do this one as well? Oh, okay.
Yay.
Beautiful. It's going to be a herby one. Add some red wine. Do you want to help me pour the red wine?
Yeah.
Go on then. Whoa. That's probably enough. Whoa. Beautiful work, Maeve. Look at all that you put in there.
Mom.
Maeve.
Yeah.
You want to put some tomato puree?
Yeah.
Squeeze. Keep squeezing. Keep squeezing. Do you want to pour that one in?
Yeah.
Oh, out, and also needs a bit of water, doesn't it, sweetheart? Some stock pots. Free. Woo! Right. Do you want a sip of my drink?
Ice.
Ice, yeah. And we're going to put some pepper.
No,
Salt.
ice.
Don't worry, honey, we'll get it. Ice. Right, now that is all mixed together, I'm going to let it bubble off on a low heat until dinner, really. No, I actually won't let it bubble for hours, that long, but we'll let it bubble off for about an hour. I'll keep mixing it, of course, and then we'll turn the heat off and let it just marinate until dinner time. Hey, darling. Oh dear, it's all going on in it. My memory card's not working whilst we were finishing up that spag bog. However, we've spent a couple of hours just doing random things, one of which I've now got out these sensory things for the girls and they're just playing with like bubbly water. My hair looks really funny today, like my fringes does not want to sit right. You'll have to excuse the full-on red lip. One of the things that we've been doing this whole time is Maeve's new obsession is to go in my drawers in my bedroom and just empty out my drawers, like full of skincare, makeup, hair bits. Oh, honestly. And she picked out the red lipstick and was putting it on herself. And then I put it on myself to be like, this is where it goes on your lips. And now I've just like kept it on basically. So no makeup and red lips. If I look really, really weird, that's why. She just had a delivery arrive from Zara Home. It's come in quite a big box. Yes, darling. Someone tell me if this is nice or not, because now I'm second guessing myself. Right. Like that or not, actually. no marshmallows, please. Yeah, can we get a blueberry muffin, please? Yes, please. Just there for you. Thank you. Do you want some of this? I've got you a muffin. Lovely. Here you go, Mum. Let me grab some water as well. Oh, good sharing, darling. Good sharing. Thank you. I don't know why I feel like this, but it feels kind of eerie here today. I don't know if it's because we're the only ones here, but let's go find Maeve. I've got my hands full. I've got you guys, and then I've got my hot choc, which I do not want to spill all over me because I've got cream trousers on, which is probably not the best thing to wear. But hello guys, welcome to Vlogmas week 2. It's already Wednesday, so this is going to be a shorter one for sure. It's hot choc. Nice. Just wandering off, which is fine because there's nobody else here. And also this is one of those parks that's like enclosed. You can't leave the park without going out of one gate, which is great. Also, you guys, you'll see this bloody spot on the side of my mouth. It's huge and it won't go away. I've had a really bad period this month. It's been like quite intense. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I was going to make a bow. But long story short, this bow that I'm going to make is going to be the second attempt. The first attempt, I used a hot glue gun and I used this material I bought off Amazon, and I just don't like the way it's turned out at all. So what I've done is I've gone to Primark and bought a pillowcase and like a sheet, and I'm going to do it out of that. I wanted just all red, just plain red. And Primark didn't have any plain red bedding, which I just thought was baffling. Anyway, I was going to have plain red bedding, like for cheap, because obviously I'm going to turn it into a bow. It was going to be Primark, but obviously not, quite honest with you. It was chaotic as, you know, it was me and my mum there, and it was like hard work for the both of us. So I wasn't about to go to another shop. So anyway, I've come out with, it's cream with like red and green and I think blue tartan. As I said, not my first choice. However, I think it will still be effective. I think it will still look nice. But when you see it, just know I wanted to have a plain red one. A couple of tea light holders, salt bakes. I've never done a salt bake before. I know people do them quite a lot with kids. They do like handprints and footprints and stuff like that, and I've never done that before. So this is going to be my first attempt at a salt bake, and it's going to be a tea light holder. Just something that I saw on Pinterest and I thought Maeve could get involved. I've bought some like gem stickers, like all different patterns and colours and what have you. We can like stick them in the top and it can be all fancy and jewelly, so when the candle's lit it'll be all like, my vision is it will all shine off each other. I don't even know if I'm making any sense. But anyway, we might do that today after we've finished here. We've come out today to Ampthill. This is Ampthill Park. Love Ampthill Park. The actual like grounds are huge, and there's like, oh, it's just so beautiful and so picturesque. When I came here a few weeks ago during like middle to the end of autumn, it was just so picturesque. Like the leaves were like a foot thick, and the colours and all the conkers, and honestly just beautiful. Joe and I actually got married here in Ampthill, so it holds fond memories for me, us. I'm so sorry if I sound out of breath. I am out of breath. I think it's this illness. Oh, mind your hat, baby. Oh no. Can I put it back on your head? Proper hat hair. Oh guys, I've got some updating for you. Let me tell you. Joe and I had a big old long conversation last night, which doesn't often happen because usually, you know, we're busy parenting and what have you. But last night the girls both went to bed so early. Not because of my doing, like they were both knackered and wanted to go to bed. So I just thought, okay, well, let's have a bath and see how they go down. They both went to sleep so early, which meant Joe and I actually got a bit of an evening. So we ended up having a big old conversation. so exciting, and I just cannot wait also to just document this whole process, because I know this is something, well, at least the circles of people that I'm in with anyway, everyone says how much they'd love to do this and what have you, but it's all about moving to Australia and everything surrounding that, like what it looks like to emigrate, what's involved, the nitty and gritty, like the actual how-to. And I feel like my children want me to be very present right now, and I also want to be present, so I'm going to stop talking to you guys for 5 and get involved in this play. Yes, darling? Well done you though, you're very brave. Look at you, you're so brave. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Put all your weight on the other leg. Put all of your weight on this leg. Stand on this leg. Okay, you want to come down? Yeah. Okay, okay. You're okay, darling. Well, I told you it's too tall for me, honey. Come on then, walk forward. Hold my hand. It's okay. It's okay. Trust yourself. Okay? Take a step onto here. Whoa. Ready? You have to let go of one hand, else you won't be able to do it. There you go. Well done. Mildred, look. What's Maeve doing? You up? Hang on a minute, baby. Oh, I'm getting a leg workout doing this.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's not good.
You ready to come off? Yeah, I thought you were. Maeve, this is the issue. Oh my goodness me. Oh, I've just pulled my trousers down somehow. Elsa! There you go. show everyone your fantastic skills.
Oh no, they're
No,
not.
I'm joking. It's a lovely colour though.
Do you like it?
Yeah, really nice. That's definitely nicer than that other colour.
Yeah.
Yes, darling.
Yeah. Oh.
Mum?
Mum.
Oh, first of all, Maeve, can I put you there and I'll take your shoes off?
Mum.
Mum?
So
Maeve?
what is all this stuff?
Mummy.
Thank you, darling. Good girl. That's it. I'm nearly done. Just got to put my top coat on and cure it. Yes, I have. Your hair's getting long, Mills.
I know.
Yes, darling.
Oh, did you see that?
She did punch you.
Max, what is this depressing bean? But I'm gonna despise every second of it.
They're both got necklaces.
Yeah, it needed to be.
Yeah.
I think
You got a book,
Okay.
isn't it?
It's brushed cotton as well. It's really soft. Dad, so my original plan was to get an all red bedding, but we went to Primark, couldn't find, well, we did find an all red bottom sheet, but couldn't find a matching pillowcase. So Mum pointed out this one. Let me find the person that I got the tutorial from.
How you look?
She is right. Her name is Geneva Vandersziel. You're gonna show. There you go. Well, oh no, I'll just tag her down below. Step in the new direction. Okay, when was the last time you saw a really good horror film?
Oh, God, Poppy, no, it's asking.
I know. That's the. What's the word? Okay, now I'm gonna cut a couple of thin strips. Go.
What do you do with it? Whoa.
And then try and get a similar sort of width on this one. Okay guys, moment of truth. Mum reckons it looks amazing.
Pay for that, you'd be really happy when that turned up. Look.
Oh.
And do you know that glue keeps those bits stiff, which is what you need. Maeve, hang on a minute.
Oh no, it's okay. Sorry, I'll grab it now.
Now you do it, now you do it.
Right, now we need to see it on the tree. That took a while, didn't it? That took like
But do you
an
know
hour.
That is lovely. Do you not think?
Yeah.
The way the bottom bits hang and everything, it's that glue.
Hopefully once it's on the tree as well, like it's not like hanging. Do you know what I mean?
That's lovely. Yeah, come here.
Wow.
That looks amazing, doesn't it?
I'm chuffed. I'm happy with
That
that.
looks really good.
guys. Hello you guys, and welcome to the Q&A that I've been promising you for God knows how long now, / the end of the vlog. I'm going to end this week's vlog here, but I thought I'd finish it with the Q&A because I thought that would be a nice way to sort of round it up. It is currently 7:04 on Monday the 16th of December. I've actually started filming week 3 already today. However, I know that I wanted to get the Q&A in week 2's vlog, so that's what we're doing this evening. The girls have gone down and Joe's not back from work yet, so I thought literally when would be a better time to sit and do this Q&A. Like, Joe might walk in any moment now, to be honest with you, but we can at least make a start on it, can't we? But whilst I'm sat here, I'm going to... I don't know if I'm showing this okay, but... these are some dried out orange pieces that, why is my camera flashing at me? No, it's okay. That I'm gonna turn, I don't know if you can see here, this is all orange pieces that I turned into a garland. But ever since I've put that on the wall, I'm like, I want the garland to be bigger. It needs to go to the end. So I thought, whilst I'm sat here answering some questions with you guys, I will continue to make my orange garland, if that's okay with you. This is where we're at already with this other one that I'm making. Right? But this packet of dried orange I bought off Amazon. The ones on the wall here were from Dunelm. I just saw them in there one day, so I bought them. The ones from Amazon smell so strong. Just so annoying. Why have they done this? It's just so annoying, whatever they've done to the photo albums. Why is this so hard? Right, how am I... Let me try something else. Nope. Where's just like screenshots? Is there a... There used to be... My questions up here, but first and foremost, when I put up the questions box to allow you guys to ask the questions, so I say so many of you, I probably got like 5 or 6 messages / answers on the Q&A, on the questions box, sorry, saying that, oh, this isn't a question, I just wanted to say I really love your content that you're putting out, like, keep going, like, I'm actually really enjoying it. And honestly, those messages just make me so happy. Like, I don't know, and these aren't messages from people that I know either. These are messages from like random people that I don't know in person. So I don't know, it just feels a bit surreal to me that people are enjoying watching what I'm putting out. Because, well, just for obvious reasons really, isn't it? Okay, first one is, when am I moving to Oz? And then the one directly next to that one says, what's the deal with you in Australia? Question directly next to that one says, are you Australian or English? I'm so confused, can you explain? Directly under that says, how come both your girls are Australian when they were both born in England? A few of you said about just talking a little bit about myself. Not like, you didn't ask me a question, you said, can you just talk a little bit about yourself? So I guess all of this sort of ties in with each other, right? I was born in the UK. Then when I was 6 months old, I moved with my mum and dad to Detroit, Michigan, for my dad's work. My dad is a studio design engineer, so he designs cars. And he got a job out there, and so we moved out there when I was 6 months old. I think when I was nearing 3, I could be totally wrong on these ages, so my mum will probably correct me if she sees this, but around 3, we then moved from Detroit, Michigan back to England. One of the main contributing factors was the fact that I was obviously talking at that point and I had an American accent and my mum hated it. That's what she's always told me anyway. Whether that's actually the reason they came back or not, I'm not sure. And then we came back to England, and then when I was 8, I was 8 and my brother was 3, there's 5 years between us, I'm sure that's right. We then moved to Australia. And we stayed in Australia, what we thought was going to be indefinitely. Whilst we were there, my dad got permanent residency for everybody. Once we'd been permanent residents for I don't know how long, we were given the opportunity, or invited, shall I say, to become citizens, and of course we did. So we all became Australian citizens. Me, my mum, my dad and my brother and that is something that I will be eternally grateful for that my dad has done for us. Yeah, just amazing. But anyway, whilst we were living in Australia, my dad's dad really suddenly, unexpectedly passed away. Now that whole scenario of going through that for my dad when he hadn't spoken to his dad in years and years and years prior. I mean, he spoke to his dad just before we left, but I'm not seeing his dad for then the years that came after that, and then got the news that his dad had a sudden heart attack, and it wasn't a great time whatsoever. And my mum's mum and dad were unwell. School, I don't know what year my brother would have been in. My brother will probably tell me, he might correct me. I don't know when it was. He was definitely in primary school anyway. And he was, and we were homeschooled. Me and my brother were homeschooled by my dad whilst we went travelling up and down the east coast of Australia. And then when we got back to Melbourne, which is where I grew up, we then packed our bags and moved back to the UK. It wasn't supposed to be a long-term thing. It was more so that we were here for my nan and my granddad as they were both unwell. And in hindsight, we made it back really just in time, because within about 6 months my nan passed away. However, my granddad, he passed away like a couple of years ago now, so he was around for a lot longer, but we did make it back just in time for my nan anyway. He came out to visit us quite a lot in Australia, so that wasn't like the first time that we'd seen her in like 10 years. We'd seen her quite a few times because she'd come out quite a lot. Maeve is actually named after. Maeve's name is Maeve Ira, and Ira was my nan, and a beautiful woman, of course. She was actually buried in a coffin that was just like completely covered in poppies. We loved each other very, very much. But anyway, so that's that. That's how I've become Australian, slash why I want to move to Australia, slash why it's like confusing. I'm English, I sound English, but my Australian accent comes out from time to time. But I can't help it. Like sometimes I'll just be talking and I will hear it. I will hear myself say something and I'm like, whoa. And I have no idea where it's come from. And then all of a sudden I'll sound really like English again. It's just really bizarre. But one of my best friends from Australia, when she comes over, it's so funny because she'll come over and then I suddenly get an Australian accent again. After spending a couple of days with her, I'm just like Australian. And like Joe's like to me, why do you put on an accent when Sarah's here? I'm like, I don't put on an accent. It's like when I'm around someone with an Australian accent, it just like naturally comes out. I don't know, it's so strange. So that is the deal with that. That's the whole Australian debacle, I suppose, in a really short story form. Now, people asking when are we moving to Australia, because I keep talking about it. So Joe and I were meant to move to Australia in 2019. We were going through the visa process for Joe, because obviously I have a passport, I don't need a visa. And there were a couple of things in the application that we weren't 100% about. And we were given the advice that if we weren't 100%, it's probably best to not go for it at that point in time, because if Joe was to be refused for that visa, he is not able to apply for the same visa again. So we ended up buying a house off the back of that. Some things to do with the visa process was about financial things, so we thought, you know what, we're going to buy a house and just like, what's the saying? Cross our T's and dot our I's, or whatever. You know what I mean? We just basically wanted to make absolutely sure that his visa couldn't be refused for any stupid reasons. It was like our own mistake, something that we could have avoided. If it's going to get rejected anyway, it will get rejected, but we wanted to make sure that we did all that we could. So anyway, which is this house here that we're in now. We were like, right, we just need to buy a house quickly and some like stuff on record that Joe and I are dependent on one another. That was part of the visa thing. It was asking like, are we financially dependent on one another, slash like we had to prove that Joe had to prove that he was financially like dependent. I don't know, you just kind of had, in the visa that we were applying for, you kind of had to like prove that you were like a proper couple. I mean, of course we were a proper couple, but what our plan was to move over there and buy our first house over there and just get started like that. But this was obviously 2019, then 2020 happened, and yeah, so we bought our house, and then it was meant to be operation, live for a bit, get some evidence and stuff under our belt for his visa, and then go. Then I feel pregnant. Then I feel pregnant again. And now here we are. So it has been pushed back a couple of times, of course. Well guys, I'm sorry for the quality change there. Something has just happened to both of my memory cards for this camera, and it just will not record anything right now, which is so annoying because obviously in the middle of talking, but I thought I'd try and finish this Q&A here on my phone. I know that I was talking about Australia and us moving, this, that and the other. So in us buying this house, when we bought it, we actually locked in our interest rate for 5 years because we thought 5 years would be a good amount of time to, you know, show our financial records. Obviously it was COVID, so we were advised that locking in would be a good idea with everything being so unstable, etc. So that's what we did. We locked in for 5 years. That means really is if we were to sell during the lock-in, we would pay a penalty on a percentage of the price of the house when we sell it. Which the penalty, like, it's like a sliding scale. The penalty lessens the longer you wait. Or obviously if you wait the whole 5 years, there is no penalty. So because the exchange rate has been so good for the pound over the past few years, it has made sense to wait for the lock-in to end because our money is practically doubling when you put it into dollars. So it just has made sense. Also, with having children, it's just not that easy to just up and go. You just want to make sure things are absolutely okay, you know, because it's not just me and Joe hopping on a plane anymore. We've got Maeve and Millie to think about, and yeah, so that's why that's taken so long. However, our lock-in ends next year, so we can put our house on the market next year. So that's so exciting, so exciting. Like, sorry, the bowl of oranges is now behind you. So yeah, that means that we can obviously put the house on the market very soon, and it's just surreal. It's a surreal feeling. So in terms of when are we going to Oz, first things first, we're gonna obviously sell the house, but on from that, the whole process of us moving and what that looks like, even the visa process, if you'd like to know that or see that for Joe, obviously the visa that he's now applying for is different to the visa that he was going to apply for back in 2019, because now we've got kids and we're married, and so it's a different visa entirely. So yeah, everything happens for a reason, I suppose, but that whole process I would love to document because I think it'd be something really nice to be able to look back on, especially for the girls. But I just think what an interesting thing to actually witness. I feel like you see people frequently like emigrate or move here, there, everywhere, but I feel like you rarely see how that happened, you know. Also been in contact with quite a few employers over there in Australia, so that's all very exciting as well. In terms of how do our girls how and why are my girls Australian already, it's because I'm Australian. Because their mum is an Aussie, they become an Aussie, but it's not like automatic. I've had to contact Australia, like the government in Australia, and explain our situation, submit an application to basically agree and okay that yep, they're Australian. Then they sent me over the certificates to say that they're Australian, and then we have to go to the Aussie embassy and get their passports sorted, so which we have done. So that's all done. So they are just literally Australian. So I don't know what nationality you are where you live. I know a lot of the people who watch me are obviously English. So for us, we are Australian as you are English. It's just There's no visas involved, nothing. The only person that needs a visa is Joe. He is the only person. But I do actually think there's a couple of options for him in terms of visas, but the one that we're obviously going to do is the most simple. But I think he's got a couple of options because both of his girls are obviously Australian as well. So yeah, that's what's happening. I mean, that's like a really quick rundown of everything. Hopefully that was a bit of an insight. Let me look at what the next questions said. The next one said, is having 2 under 2 really as hard as I think it would be? Maeve was 8 months old when I fell pregnant with Millie. So I think that's right. So when Millie was born, Maeve was 16 months, like a week and a bit off being 17 months old. So that's the age gap between them. So I had about 8 months of 2 under 2. I don't know if I can still say 2 under 2, even though I have a 2-year-old and an 11-month-old now. Oh my God, she's 11 months old now. But I get that question a lot, like especially when I'm out and about, when people see me with the girls and they're like, oh, you've got your hands full. And I'm like, yeah, I do. But what people I think don't realise, or they just don't think about, is that I've known no different. Like, I don't know having kids with a 2-year age gap or a 5-year age gap. I don't know that. I don't know what that looks like or how that feels for a mum. All of my friends only have one child as well. Like, they don't have more than one. So I don't have anyone to compare to. And actually, I know one person who has 2 boys. And we keep organising to meet up, and then something always happens. You know what it's like. I mean, very standard for mums, isn't it? But yeah, so I have nothing else to compare to. So this is all I know. Sorry about that. She's actually okay. She just lost her dummy. So yeah, I don't know any different, you know. So for me, having 2 under 2 has been my whole motherhood experience so far. And us in our position, Joe works all the hours. So it has been very much on my own, although I'm obviously married and the girl's dad lives with them. It is very much solo parenting vibes over here. And I can say sort of is that everyone that I know, they have a different situation to me. Like their husband or partner is like home at a much more reasonable time. And so they're always sort of saying to me like, oh God, Poppy, I do feel for you. And however, because I've just gotten on my own for the most part, and like Joe's just gotten on with like his working and everything, it's like easier on my own than if he was to try and help when he was here. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's really weird, but I have such my own rhythm with the girls and what I'm doing and the house. I have my own routines, and like if somebody tries to help me and they don't do it how I do it, or they don't know, it's hard to say. Like I'm just like autopilot with the whole thing now. But I mean, I guess back to your question, see, I could talk so much about all these different things. It's like, do you want the long answer or the short answer? I'll give you the shortish answer, I suppose. Yes, there's hard moments. There are absolutely hard moments. To this day, I got upset today because I was having a hard moment. Like people were telling me, once, you know, Millie's crawling, it will be easier. Once Millie's walking, it will be easier. Once the newborn stage is over, it will be easier. I just think, do you know what? Let's be real. Let's be real with each other here. Being a parent is not easy. I don't think things get easier. I think the challenges just change. Maybe your coping mechanisms get better, so therefore like if you feel like it's easier. But on the whole, like shit's hard. Like let's give ourselves credit where credit's due. Shit is hard. It is. Like it just is. If anyone was to ask me, is having 2 kids hard? I'd say yeah. But it's the best thing I've ever done. It is. Like it genuinely is. It's hard because I'm tired. It's hard because I only have so many hours in the day. It's hard because I only have 2 hands. It's hard because I'm trying to juggle
being their mum, as well as educate them, as well as keep on top of the house, as well as things that I like. Because one thing I learned when I was postpartum with Maeve is I like cut out everything to do with like my own enjoyment. I cut it all out because it made me feel guilty and it made me feel funny, and it didn't come naturally to me anymore. But what I learned in doing that was actually how important it is, like, and how the benefits of doing the things that you love and doing the things that make you happy and bring you joy as your own person, not just like me, Maeve and Millie's mum, like me as in Poppy, you know, the 30-year-old woman who has her own likes and interests and finds joy in other things other than her children too, you know, like, which is a really hard thing to wrap your head around, especially considering I've suffered both times now with quite severe postnatal depression, which I still struggle with to this day. So if that's something that you guys would like me to open up about, I can. I don't want to bring anyone down, however, and I think that's a massive part of why I don't really talk about that side of things, because I want my platforms to be a place where people come and they enjoy consuming it and it makes them feel good and they feel like they are, and they feel like they can relate to me, or the things that I say resonate with them. So I don't want to sit here and sort of go woe is me for whatever reason, but if that is something that you would like to hear me talk about, then I can. I have no qualms in doing that. But there's lots of different factors that I think come into a simple question like, is 2 under 2 hard? It is, but you know, you love your kids no matter what. I mean, having one child was hard. Do you know what I find really funny is, like, when I just had Maeve, I found things hard. I used to feel like I was rushed off my feet and I was busy and I couldn't keep on top of the house and I couldn't keep on top of this and I could never make dinner and on time and all these sorts of things. And I used to sit there and think, how on earth am I going to do this with 2? And then Millie comes along. And now I'm suddenly realising, oh, this is what it's like to be busy. This is what it's like to have no time. This is what it's like to just struggle under all of it. But I think if I was to have a 3rd baby, I'd look back on having 2 and think, oh, I had so much time back then. Why did I think I had no time? Do you know what I mean? But when you're in the moment, like when I just had Maeve, I was like, I'm so busy. Like, what is going on? I can't cope. Blah, 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 blah. You know, all that jazz. Then becoming a mum of 2, you're like, oh, hang on a minute. I mean, let's be real. Like, I don't know. I feel like your standards constantly change and your perception of what is doable and what isn't constantly changes. I think just being a mum in general is hard. But like I said, it's the most rewarding thing. I have not been able to comprehend nor find the words to actually express what motherhood has done for me, how it's made me feel, the healing it's made me go through, the friends that I've made along this journey so far. And you know, I've only been a mum for 2.5 years. Like, the friends that I have made has been insane. Keep in mind, right, I've been in the UK now since 2012 or 2011. And I had a boyfriend when I first moved here. I had all of my friends that were like his friends, girlfriends and all that sort of thing. And then we split up and then my world was turned upside down because I suddenly knew no one again. And life was hard from that point. Not like because we broke up, but like the whole side of like, I was 21 and had no friends. 21, knew no one. I stupidly put all my eggs in one basket with my ex-boyfriend and all of his friends, and lesson learned for sure. A lesson learned for sure. However, I have not come across many people in my life that I could truly say to you, they're my friend. Like, I value a friend. If I call you my friend, it's important. I don't just call anyone my friend. And I hold my cards close to my chest for the most part. I mean, it's so hard because I do wear my heart on my sleeve actually, but I think, you know, I'm 30 years old now. I've learned a lot in my 30 years. And I am such a different person now to what I was back then. I don't even recognise the person I was back then. So I don't know if it's a multitude of different things, but the friends I have now made, I have been able to actually make proper friends. And I'm also at a point in my life where I feel confident, like I can go out with people I've never met before. Like I've had these lovely group of people online approach me and say, hey, like, do you want to come for like a monthly meetup? Like, we've all got kids and we'd love to hang out. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's do it. That is so not me. Like, if you knew me like back in 2016, you'd be like, what are you doing? This is not you. Even though it's really healthy for you and like I'm so happy for you, but this is not you. What's happened? Like, where has Poppy gone? Like, no, this is me. This is who I feel like I've always meant to be. I feel so content with the person that I have become and am still becoming. You know, I say I'm 30 years old. I'm only 30 years old, you know? I'm only 30. Because I'm saying it like that because I don't want people to think, oh my God, 30. Do you know what I mean? Like, my 20s were a bloody rocky road, let me tell you. My 20s were not enjoyable, actually, for the most part. I said it, there we go, I've said it. I'm just putting it out there. I don't think I enjoyed the most part of my 20s. And I've already come into my 30s feeling so good, you know? Feel so good. I think the only thing that could potentially make me happier is knowing that my flights to Australia were booked. And then I think I'd be cloud 9. Quite frankly. The tangent I've gone on, just from you asking me, is 2 under 2 hard? There are moments, right, where 2 under 2 is hard. There are moments when they both need you at the same time. But then there's moments where you sit and you look at them and you think, I could not have done this any other way. How could I have ever have had a bigger age gap than this? This is perfect. This is perfect. Their relationship is just blossoming daily. They're both so young still that each other doesn't, like, having each other isn't like a real hindrance on the life that like, I'm saying this, sorry, coming from like Maeve's perspective. I know when you have a bigger age gap, sometimes the older child can hold lots of strong emotions with like a new child coming into the world, taking away attention and time and all sorts. So I think for me, having 2 under 2 has been amazing because Maeve was too young to ever really remember a time where it was just me and her. And she's not going to remember any time in her life where Millie was not there. And I think that's really special as well, to have a sister. Like, I would have loved to have had a sister. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I obviously love my brother with all my heart. But I've always sat and dreamt of having a sister. And I'm sure like people who have a sister would probably sit here and dream about having a brother. I mean, you always want what you don't have. The grass is always greener, right? I just feel really lucky to have been blessed to have had 2 girls 16 months apart. Like, there's gonna be hard times, you know? Like, we're talking about, oh, is 2 under 2 hard? What about when Maeve's 16 and Millie's 14 and a half? What about then? Because I reckon that's going to be a hell of a lot harder than 2 under 2. What do you reckon? 2 pubescent teenage girls, just imagine that. 1.5 years apart. I think there's going to be some hair pulling. I think there's going to be clothes being stolen left, right and bloody centre. I think Joe's not going to know what to do with himself, so he will probably turn into a shell of a man. And I don't even know. So in terms of 2 under 2, I am thoroughly enjoying it. I am taking it in as much as physically possible. I am frequently stopping and talking to myself in my head, and I'm being like, you need to like take this in. Like, this is a moment, like this moment happening right now, you're going to look back on this moment and with just so much joy and love and wishing that you were back here experiencing this. Like, I have that so frequently where I have these moments and I'm living the moment and I'm already like feeling sad that the moment's over when I'm still in the moment. I don't know how else to describe that. It's such a strange feeling. I get it all the time. I'll live a moment and I'm thinking, this is so perfect, this is beautiful. the noises I'm hearing, or the music that's playing, or something that I can smell, and the girls and how I'm feeling. My emotions are so positive, and I just sit there and I think, this is a perfect moment. This is something like, I can imagine this being part of my 7 minutes before I die. Do you know what I mean? Oh, insane. I get it all the time. I get it all the time where I'm having, like, missing a moment before it's even over. It's weird. So weird. So if you're considering 2 under 2, my opinion is bloody go for it. I don't think there's a single thing you could potentially regret about the situation. It's just perfect in every way. I would not have done it any other way. In fact, if we are to have a 3rd baby, which I'm all for the idea, Joe's more on the fence about the whole thing. I think we're both on the same page that if we're going to have a 3rd, it's going to have to be in Australia. I don't want to bring a 3rd baby into England, and with everything that comes with moving to Australia, like, we'd have to try and sort out another citizenship for another baby. Also, keep in mind, this is a 2-bed house. I mean, that in itself is a whole reason to not have another baby here in the UK, because we're not buying another house here. So but I would 100% do 3 under 3. I would do it. I sit and I joke with my friends, like, Christ, I must be mad. Imagine I did 3 under 3, and they're all like, ah. But, like, everyone knows deep down I would do that. Like, I would do that. My mum knows, Joe knows, everyone knows that I would do it. I just feel like I was born for this, and I don't know what I mean by that, but I feel like I was born for this. I've totally come into my own since becoming a mum, and especially since becoming a mum of 2. I don't know what I mean by this, but as soon as I had 2 babies, I suddenly felt like I'm a proper mum, and I don't know why. I don't know what I mean by that. I just had this sudden feeling like I feel accomplished, and I feel like proper. I don't know. I really have no idea. If I can make more sense of that, then I will explain it better. But right now, I just, yeah, that's how I feel on that situation. So 2 under 2 has been amazing. Another question that somebody has asked me is about baby names. I'm so happy to go through baby names, but I think I'll do a whole different video on that, because I've already been talking for a little while now and I don't want to long this out too much. But if you guys really do want to know about baby names, ones that I love, ones that we didn't use, ones that I could still potentially use in the future, especially boy names, as having a boy could be on the cards for us one day, though we'll probably have a 3rd girl, seeing how this goes. There's only girls, like, the girls' cousins are only girls. Like, there's only girls. Like, Joe's mum has only got granddaughters. My mum has only got granddaughters, obviously, because my brother's not had kids yet. But I feel like if you were to have a 3rd, we're likely to have another girl. However, I mean, I'd be over the moon regardless. The more girls, the merrier. However, having a boy would be a first for us, so how exciting. That's a whole nother thing. But if you guys want to know about baby names, I can definitely go into that in another video for sure. Let me quickly look at some other of these questions, and then I think I'm going to wrap it up, just because I've been talking a lot, you know. Hey, this lovely lady has asked me about homeschooling numerous times, and I've not answered her question yet actually about it. All the question sort of is can they know more about homeschooling? I've been very open over on Instagram about how I'm going to homeschool the girls. See, people need to do their own research when it comes to homeschooling anyway, but as I've just explained to you, I was homeschooled for a portion of my education, and it was the best time education-wise that I've ever had. Interested, one of the first things that I recommend you doing is having a look at what curriculums are about here in the UK for homeschooling, because there are a few different styles of homeschooling that you can do. And I just feel as well like there is so much more to learn in the world than academics. And what I want to teach my girls is everything else, and academics not be the absolute pinnacle of their learning. I think in general, if you guys really do want to know more about it, let me know specifically what sorts of things you'd like to know about, because there is so much that I can go on about here. What are the benefits to homeschooling? How many hours a day should you be doing it? where does your work go, who corrects the work, who marks it, you know, all these sorts of things I can go into, and the curriculum that I've chosen I can go into, but hopefully that sheds a little bit of insight into like the world of homeschooling. At least here in the UK, that's what's available to you, and it's very similar over in Australia as well. But yes, we are going to be homeschooling our girls here in the UK, if we haven't moved to Australia by then. And if we have, then I will be homeschooling the girls over in Australia, but I'm a little bit less reluctant to send them to school over in Australia. However, here in the UK, I'm very reluctant to send them. So many different reasons. I don't want to be controversial on here. I don't want to make people upset on here. I don't want to create a divide in any way, so I don't want to go into too much detail. Now, another question that someone has asked is, how did Joe and I meet? And that's a really funny question actually, because so like I said, when I first moved to the UK, I had a boyfriend and I was friends with his friends' girlfriends, and they all lived in like this town, and everyone would go to like the same pubs and stuff. I mean, I say they would, I'm pretty sure a lot of them still do. I think if you live in this particular town, like you don't leave it. That's how it comes across anyway. So anyway, I was in those circles, and this one day, I remember this poignantly. This one day we were all at this pub, and my husband, Joe, walks in. The entire pub turns and looks at him, like, and everyone's going, Joe. Everyone's going over to him, and he's just like going, hey, like shaking hands and like saying hey and whatever. And I remember at the time, I'm like, who is that? And he'd actually just had a fresh tattoo. He had a fresh tattoo. I'm pretty sure he might have even had like the film on the tattoo. And I was like, who is that? The person that I was with was like, that's Joe, don't even look at him. And I was like, oh, okay. But obviously my ears pricked up because everyone was like, who's like, Joe, hey, what's up? Oh, you're here, blah, blah, all that sort of thing. So anyway, I was like, okay, didn't think much of it. Then I met him again at like a house party thing. We were just sat talking on the sofa for a little while at that one particular thing. And he was always someone that I thought was attractive. I just never thought much of it. And obviously I was with my boyfriend anyway, so it didn't matter, right? But Joe was nice enough as it is. Every so often we would message on Facebook. He was very much into fashion and clothes, and we were in like similar circles, I guess. Then we went to EDC one year. Again, this is a whole nother life to what I live now. But anyway, met him there, and he was with his ex-girlfriend. Like, they were together at the time, and like, so they were together, and I was saying hi and whatever. Then when me and my ex split up, I had what some would call a hot girl summer. Anyway, and I had a fling. I went to France for a holiday in the south of France, and I had a fling with a French boy, and that went on for a few months. Interesting one. That's a whole other story. We should have like a girly chat, and I'd love to talk to you about that. Anyway, so then my hot girl summer ended, and it was like September, October time. And oh my God, so much drama with my ex-boyfriend, so much drama. I won't go into it, but it meant that I rekindled a bit of a friendship with someone, and she was like, you should come out with me. I'm going out with Joe and this person, that person. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll come, whatever. And we actually went to Joe's house for pre-drinks. And when we were there, he was like bragging about all sorts of whatever the hell he was going on about. I didn't really think much too much. I was like, I've just come back from France and whatever. I've had a messy breakup. It is what it is. And the whole night, Joe and I just basically were not separate. We weren't separate at any point in the night. We were just, and honestly, I'm not joking, from that day I just don't think we've been apart. I don't mean like joined at the hip, but I mean from that moment it's been a thing, and here we are now, married with 2 kids. So it's a bit of a funny story. There's no like official day I met him, I suppose. There's the day that I saw him, the day that I saw him again, and the day that I had pre-drinks at his house, and then that was that. So yeah, that's the story of me and Joe. Oh God, you guys, we should definitely have a girly old chat. I want to get a glass of wine and sit here and talk to you about so many things. I think that's him actually. Is it? I don't know. Right, I've been talking for so long. and I feel like this vlog is going to be a long one, and I need to get on with the week 3 vlog now too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I was able to answer some questions that are of interest to you. I'm sorry that I talk for so long all the damn time. I don't mean to, I'm just a chatterbox. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week, which is actually today.